everybody, it's Joe Parrot from the Ladies Working Dog Group. Are you feeling stuck with your gun dog training? Trust me, you're not alone, and that's exactly why you need to be here. Every week, we're bringing you the best tips and hacks to make training your gun dog easy peasy. We'll keep it straightforward, no fuss, just actionable guidance that you can put straight to use. So let's get started. Hello and welcome to another episode of Found It Fetched It. This week, we are going to be talking to Society member Laila Curtis all about dog training, her business, and her writing. So before I get started, let's start with introducing you to Laila. Laila, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your background?
Hiya, lovely to be here. My background. So I started off as doing my PhD in veterinary medicine and suddenly got married and had children. So then I suddenly became a mum of 3 and lost my little terrier. And then suddenly I was a mum of 3 and puppy gun dog and suddenly thrown into this world of gun dog. So I am currently a mum of 3 and a 2-year-old gun dog. And I've added a few extra sort of strands to my life, including I do pregnancy sonography for dogs and microchipping for puppies. And that's my life right now. So my background's a little bit convoluted, but right now, that's what I'm doing.
So let's start with your gun dog. So obviously you brought a new puppy into the house. This was your first ever gun dog, yes?
Absolutely. Hadn't got a clue anything about gun dog at all. Complete novice. I didn't know anybody. I didn't know how to train. I knew nothing.
Where in your journey of training your lovely dog did you find us, the LWDG?
With my background in science, I'm a researcher. So the first thing I did was just raid the internet and try and find as much information as I could. And the Ladies Working Dog Group was one of the first places that I came to. And I'm so grateful because having that community of people, some of them like me, who really had no idea what they were doing with this puppy, it's just given me some direction, lots of information, and a bit of a support network as well. That's how I came across the LWDG. And yeah, I've been an avid member, in fact, on the school run or whatever, on my way to different dog stuff, I'm listening to the podcast. And I just feel like it's my other family, really. It saved me from a complete failure with my dog.
And I'm sure you wouldn't have been a failure. But yeah, the stuff you touched on is, I think, what makes so wonderful is the fact that anyone can join and we all go through this together. So, talking about your gun dog, did your gun dog inspire your business, or had you already had that idea to make the business?
Luna's changed my life completely. I had no sort of idea that I could ever do something like what I'm doing now. But as a mum at home, my husband works away a lot and I've got a brain that needs to do something. And I just felt so lost. Being a mum is obviously amazing and it's a huge accolade and it's the most important job I'll ever do. But for me personally, I needed something else as well. So suddenly I've got Luna, and because of all the research I was doing, I opened up this whole new world of gun dogs and dogs in general, and realized that there was lots of opportunity for me to use my skill set in other ways, combining my love of the veterinary side and my newfound love of dogs. I did a course and then another course, and suddenly I was qualified to do pregnancy sonography and set up this business. It allows me to, because I'm mobile, it allows me to do it around the children. So everything's clicked together and I'm able to tick all the boxes that I want to.
And I think that's lovely because I felt very much the same as you when I had my children and they were quite spaced apart. It's that whole thing of not losing my identity in it all. I love being a mum to my 3 more than anything, but I also love having adult conversations and doing something that I feel serves others. And I can see from what you've gone into, you feel very much the same. So do you love going to tell people that how many puppies there are or what's going on?
Oh, it's so exciting. And it's a huge privilege, but also quite nerve-wracking because obviously you're hoping that you can give people good news. And sometimes that isn't the case. So I certainly have huge I don't know, I'm very grounded by the role that I have, but mostly 99% of the time I get to deliver happy news, and I'm the first person that gets to see those little heartbeats. And it's a huge pleasure. Absolutely love it. Yeah, it gives me a real buzz.
And if you think about it from like a scientific standpoint, or even from a technological standpoint, the fact that gone are the days where you're waiting to see how many popped out, you have a rough idea of what you should be seeing on you.
Absolutely. And I never predict, because lots of things can happen between when I'm looking and when those puppies make their way into the world. But I say what I can see anyway. And yeah, it's amazing if you've got a dog that perhaps isn't going to have very many, maybe one or two. Having that information is real power for the owner or the breeder, so that they can get really communicative with their vet and make sure that support is in place if things don't go quite right. I love to think that I'm providing information that vets can use to make the right decisions for that dog and that owner.
It must be helpful as well, because I know when Ella was born, Jess had a litter 2 years previously. There was something like 10. And then this litter was like 9. And they were big litters. And being aware of what you were possibly feeling, because lady dogs can absorb puppies without it affecting other puppies. But just having a rough idea would be an incredible benefit to some people, because they might not be expecting 10 little bundles of joy.
Yeah, that's a lot, isn't it? It's a lot to suddenly have to deal with when they come out.
So you've got an online website, which is brackenbound.co.uk, and you talk all about your work on there. And on there, you also offer microchipping.
It is. Yeah. It's quite nice to be able to do the whole sort of set, just to really build a relationship with the dog and its owner, and see those little heartbeats suddenly in front of me, and microchip them and set them up for their new home. So yeah, it's quite nice to offer that as well.
One of the other things that we want to chat about, which was like the pivotal point when we decided to do this podcast, was about what are we calling it? Are we calling it like a handbook or a binder? What do you call it?
We couldn't decide what to call it originally, and we ended up thinking of it as a guide. It's not a philosophy. It's literally a guide, a collection of drills and exercises.
So when it came through the post to me, I was like, oh my God, this is cool, because I am like loads and loads of other people where I sometimes get with my dog and we've planned it and we've got a quick plan pad, so I can have a good idea of what I'm going to do in a training session. But you do get bored working out where to put the dummy and why you're putting it there. And I think what your guide does, so let's start at the beginning of this, because people listening are like, what are you on about, Joe? It's like, this book goes through from beginner to advanced, basically places, and this is me oversimplifying it into layman terms, places that you can set up your dummies and your retrieves so you can improve your skills when training your dog, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also allowing you to teach specific aspects of your gun dog training. For example, if you want to go into the field and really work on your directions, then there's a selection of drills that will purposefully help you do that. And they're all set up in a very easy to follow way, so that you don't walk into the field thinking, today I'm going to work on this and this, or my trainer has said you should work on this and this. And you walk into the field and all of a sudden your mind goes blank and you think, how do I do that? Or I don't quite remember how I did it when my trainer showed me, or whatever. So this should give you a really easy guide to follow exactly how to do it, the steps to follow there are to make sure that you execute it correctly for the benefit of your dog and your understanding, but also how you can progress to the next step if you need to.
What I love about it is it's set up into a dog's capability, a handler's capability, but also, I know this sounds odd and this might just be me, but it gives setups a name. Now, I know things like from training with my dad now, bladder. I suppose the ones that people have given generic names that mean quite a lot. But for me, and because I think probably my weakness in my training, I've never been to group training, etc. And when a trainer sets something up for you, they don't always give it a set name. They don't say to you, oh, we're going to be doing a 3-pole drill, or we're going to be doing a back cast drill. They just set up for you and work with you on it, which is fantastic. But having names for me helps me because it helps me to put the information correctly in my mind. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And I think the reason for that, Joe, is that there isn't actually a name for a lot of these drills. Now, the drills in this book, they're not from my completely inexperienced mind. They're my trainer's brainchild, and I created the book around his stick drawing. And together we thought of the names for it. These aren't completely original drills. In fact, a lot of trainers will use these drills, but like you say, they won't have a name for them because it's just how they learn or something that they've seen somebody else do and they've done it. So to be able to have it in a book with a name, like you said, and linking the starter version of that drill with the more advanced version of that drill and being able to follow that through, it just, for the organized mind, it starts to make sense and put some structure into your training, which personally for me, I need structure so that I know where I'm going, where I've been, and all of that.
A lot of conversations I'd have with my father would be me saying why, like I was 4. And what do you mean why? It just is. And I'd be like, yeah, but why? But then, like you just said, being able to see the progressions, they are the whys, aren't they? You're starting here and you're going here because the dog is able to cope with that next level. It doesn't get overwhelmed because you taught the starter step and then you're going on to the intermediate, the advanced. And just for people who are listening to understand, this isn't like how to train your dog. These are drills that you can run with your dog. They are diagrams of how you can set up your training session in the field with how many dummies, what you're going to do with those dummies, and what you're going to do with your dog in order to make that drill be efficient. That's what the book is giving you, isn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And would it help for me to just show you an example of a page? Each drill will have a diagram. So you've got your pictures of your person there, picture of your dog, pictures of your dummies, some kind of approximate measurements, some directions. It's like a map. And then on the opposite page, you've got all the information about that drill, about why you would do that drill. What's the point of the drill? What's your outcome? How to do it, tips, progression. And every drill's got that. And it's all color coded for the different levels. And that's levels of not just the dog, but also somebody who has never done drills before can pick this up and get started, but also somebody who is very experienced, but maybe just got a puppy or a new dog, and they just need to have a bit of structure and not have to think too much when they get into the field.
What I love about it is, as most people know, Rex, my other dog, was trained to trial and level by somebody else. So he knows the business inside out. He makes, when we go out training, super fun. But I am aware my level of training with him probably bores in because I can't go to whatever level he was trained to because I am not there yet. I have not done all that stuff. What I loved about this was I was like, oh, okay. So I could go out and I could work with Rex on stuff that's far harder than maybe my level is because I can set it up right and I can understand what I need to do with it. And he knows the game inside out. It's going to ask him to work more. But also in doing that, I am going to accelerate my training quicker.
Absolutely. I think that there's so many ways that you can use this guide for different levels of owner and different levels of dog. But the other thing as well, for those who do attend training sessions, if you can work in league with your trainer, which is, like you said, this isn't teaching you how to train your dog, but if your trainer is aware of this drill book and they can pick out a drill that would be really useful for you to go away and practice specifically for you, they can just say, you know what, go home and work on drill number 6. And that allows you to keep that communication with your trainer going when you're not with them and make sure that you're doing the right exercises. So this is endless. There's so many things that you could do with this guide and it can reach out to so many different people.
It has the capability to, like you say, change a way of conversations. Like today on the society group and on my stories on Instagram, I talk about us as handlers not losing our voice. I think this becomes, like you just said, if a trainer's aware of it and the handler's aware of it, they can start talking the same conversation quicker. In fact, like you said, when you're not with your trainer, who's brilliant at doing all this stuff with you, they can go back and say, don't forget that now. We were on about the right cast drill. Go home and practice. And you can go home and go, oh, I still know what they're all about. Because the other thing that I know I struggle with and other people struggle with, and it's not the trainer's fault whatsoever, it's more to do with my perimenopausal, foggy brain, is the fact that I get home and I'm like, what did they say? And I know what they said. I've lost kind of what I need to do. And if your training sessions are in months apart, that's a long time to try and remember something that's quite new to you. So yeah, I think like literally you are going to sell these out because you did do a limited number, didn't you?
Yeah, honestly, this is the result of me having a session with my trainer, Gary, and him saying, oh, I've got all these drills in my head and I wish I could just make a book. And I said, let's do it. Come on, let's do this. And I've got nothing else to do at home, obviously. Let's put all these drills into a book and you can sell them to your client. And then great. And then it expanded a bit further when I realized that actually maybe a few more people would be interested in this. But still, we didn't order that many to start with. But I guess the more people I'm speaking to, I'm realizing that there are people out there that do provide something similar, but there's no book out there that's just got tons of these in that you can just take out. And the version that we're having it printed in means that you can chuck it in the back of your car and it's there for you whenever you need it. But yeah, I think we might have to order a few more.
You sent me a beautiful paper-bound copy of it. I can already see like me being the first on your website to order because it comes. Let me understand this, Laila, so I don't give our listeners the wrong information. When they order, do they get the paper one and the binder one with it all waterproof, or do you buy them separately? How does that work?
So there's two separate versions. The cheaper version, which is £25, is paper, just like that, paper copy, wire bound, with it all in. So I guess if you just wanted to, at home, take a picture of the drill you want to do, you've got it on your phone. It's just regular paper, but all the info's there. The other version, which is £38, is an A5 binder and the content are printed on, I'll just take one out so you can see. It's like cards, so it's a bit stiffer and it's waterproof. So I could chuck water all over this, I could get mud all over it, I could wipe it off and it's good to go again. So these are the weatherproof version. Also, obviously allows you to, if you do any more, or you do some, if you decide to sort of do some scribbles, you can add them into there. So you've got your ring binder there, it's a bit more sturdy. You can take out what drills you want them in your pocket, whatever. So there's two versions. They've both got exactly the same content, but one is physically more durable than the other. So it just depends what suits you, really.
So anybody wanting to run and buy this before the 100, which is now 99 because Laila sent it to me, they are on www.brackenbat.co.uk. Will you be sending it? Because I know this goes all over the world and I know that we have members all over the world. Will you be sending it abroad for people abroad to know?
Yes, I wasn't expecting anybody abroad to even know anything about it, but obviously, potentially, if we're having this conversation, that is something I have to do. But yes, anybody can have one. They're currently on pre-order because I'm just waiting for the weatherbound version to arrive. But obviously, if the pre-orders start to fill up, I will get the next lot ordered and we'll send them out as soon as they arrive.
I think you are going to sell way more than you think you are going to sell. And I think that's fantastic because, again, I love this story, regardless of who goes through it. You start doing something, you have a problem yourself, and then you recognize that other people might have that problem, and then you go about and put yourself into action to create something. So now, by having all these training drills that were all in Gary's head in this book, you now have the capability to help people everywhere to improve their gun dog training. And we can only ever thank people and thank you for stuff like that, because I almost think we always keep advancing, all of us at the same time.
I think as a woman who just started in the gun dog world a couple of years ago, and as somebody who was so intimidated by the gun dog world for one reason or another, whether that legitimate or not, I was. And now being in a position where I have not just the LWDG community, but pockets of different communities around my training group or friends that I've made through the LWDG community. And I have nothing but excitement running through me when I see somebody improving and doing well. And you can't be competitive because every dog's different, every train is different, and everybody's going home to a different life. So all you can do is be competitive with yourself and appreciate that somebody else has worked hard and is getting better. So for me, if this book gives somebody the power to go out and improve their gun dog training, then for me, that is the best win in the world. And that's all I want from this, is just to helpful for anybody.
And that's beautiful as well, because I agree with you. I am all about collaboration, not competition. I think every situation should always be a win. We all walk away, have improved our life, improved our situation, improved our training, whatever it is. That excites me the same way as it does you. So going forward for you, is this the only book? Have you already started thinking about other ways you can help people?
So far, this is it. But that doesn't mean that there are no more options. It's just that I'm just really invested in this right now and making sure that when it gets out there to people, it remains the best version that I think it is. And whether people think that there should be more, then I will speak with Gary and get some more stick drawings and we'll add to it. But at the moment, you've got a good 40 odd drills. Some of them can be done lots of different ways. So actually, technically, you've got so many drills that you could use this book to achieve. I think it's all about the feedback that we get from this and what people want, what people need, because there's no point just doing what I think is a good idea. It's got to be what everybody will benefit from. So answer to your question, I don't know.
And for our listeners, they're not still stick drawings, are they? And that's where I think you would stand yourself. And the fact that I'm used to receiving A4 pieces of paper sent to me digitally where there's a stick and another stick and lots of little lines. And I'm like, okay, I've got to somehow make that make sense to an online community. And some of our people are great at it, like Gem's incredibly great at making the stick men move on like little videos and stuff. But they're still living in the stick man world. Whereas in this, you have literally got like an outline of a human, an outline of a dog. You have pictures of dummies and you have it on like a grid. So I'm like, okay, I can understand a little bit of like proximity from one another with the dummies and stuff, rather than me being like, I'm trying to work this out on a piece of paper.
Yes, definitely. I think that was the aim, to just make it, as all due respect to all of us, dummy proof, because anybody should be able to pick this up at whatever age, whatever experience, and be able to achieve it. Once that barrier's passed, then there's nothing to stop you.
What I love as well is because I would put my hand up. I am a dummy collector. And I think many of our ladies are dummy collectors. As you advance with the dog, your need for more dummies will actually be of benefit to you. You will start understanding where you will use more than one dummy.
Definitely. And the other thing that I've learned a lot actually from learning with Gary and this drill is the benefit of the dummies that, you know, that have got white on, like the ones that you can really see, and what he calls fading the dummy, where suddenly those dummies start to become a little bit more green, a little bit more hidden, can advance your dog. So I've learned a lot about that, but also within this book, I've tried to simplify the types of dummies that you need. And that doesn't mean that you can't use your bird dummies, your rabbit balls, not at all. But it also means that if you can't afford a million different types of dummy, you can still achieve these drills with your basic green dummy.
To close what has been an amazing podcast, I'm so glad that you came on and talked to us about it. I know that people are literally either pulling over their cars typing in your website, or they are literally stopping the dog to go on their search engine. What advice would you give to like other people, other women who are either new to dog training or are considering joining the LWDG? What advice would you give to them?
I would say that your community is everything, because the gun dog journey that you will go through, whatever stage of it you're at, will have peaks and troughs, whether that be external challenges or whether that be yourself, internal challenges. Some days you just feel like you're a total failure. And then other days you think, oh, I've got this. And then somebody else maybe is showing that they're way better than you are. And you think, oh God, I'm not as good as I thought I was. There's so much up and down. And what keeps you grounded is the people that are around you, your tribe, but the group of people around you, whether that is just women or whether that is whatever, it doesn't matter. It's those people that want to celebrate your successes and boost you when you feel down. And I think that is the only piece of advice of this book. And with positivity, because if you haven't got that, it's so easy to just want to give up.
I totally agree with you. And I totally agree with you on buy the book. I think that having this, I can already see our ladies in our Facebook talking about go to page 80. Can anybody do that? Or it's just fun. And I also think the nice thing of it is like I said, it's not a dog training manual. It is a manual that can just add to your training bag. Just ideas, like literally having this in your training bag when, even if you're like, oh, actually, my dogs were much better today than I expected. How do I advance slightly? Or my dog is doing pants today. Let's go back to the basics. What can those setups look like? I think that helps to keep us motivated and also keeps us believing in ourselves and the fact that you have in your hand a guide to say, don't give up now at this moment. You've got a guide here. Go do this or go do that.
Absolutely. And the other thing to say is that even though there are some very basic drills right at the start, it really does benefit you sometimes to just strip everything back and go from the beginning, especially if you're feeling a bit lost, a bit overwhelmed, or you've got a problem that maybe is quite advanced. Usually that problem is founded with a very basic starter problem. So work the way through. And if you feel like, we're not there, let's go back a step, or yeah, we're flying, let's jump forward. It's all there.
If you are using the LWDG quick plan pad, these all are numbered as well. So you can just write numbers. You could be like retrieving number 7, number like 38. You can just put them in and straight away what it is you're going out to do.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all set out for you. And it doesn't just have to be for your Labrador retriever. It's for any dog that you would like to retrieve something for you. It's for you.
Yeah, because for example, in front of me, a book is on number 7, area hunting drill. It's not random, it's on that page. Just like me with the Spaniels, I've been thinking loads lately. How do I do hunting with Emma? Like just really different things. So like you said, it doesn't matter what your dog is, you can use this. Even if your dog isn't like a KC registered working dog, this stuff here that your dog will enjoy doing, and you will have variety and so will they.
This guide does not judge anybody. The only thing that you would need is literally some real basics, be able to sit, just the basics, a basic retrieve. They don't need to have the stop whistle for the starter drill. It can build them up from there. But yeah, any dog that you think can retrieve something, you can do something with this book.
Fabulous. Thank you, Laila, for sharing your insights and experiences with us today. It is incredibly inspiring to hear about your journey and your business and your contribution now to the gun dog training journey on a larger scale. We definitely look forward to seeing the impact of this book. I think it's going to be massive, way more than you even thought it was. And if you're a listener, like I said, the website is www.brackenbound.co.uk and you can order on there. The paper one is available now, isn't it?
I'm going to put them all for pre-order because I don't want anybody to get a paper one and then somebody else still be waiting for theirs. So it's all going to come at the same time, which I'm hoping middle of July I should get my delivery, and then I will be up all night unpacking.
Yeah, thank you very much. I incredibly have enjoyed this. And to our listeners, I hope you've enjoyed this as much as we have. Please subscribe, please review. Please leave your feedback on our Facebook page, the Ladies Working Dog Group, or on our Instagram page @Ladies Working Dogs. And we look forward to hearing what you think about the guide, and we'll see you all next week. That's it for today's episode. A massive thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to head over to the LWDG and sign up for our membership. Get access to expert-led training, a wonderfully supportive community, and the resources you need to become a confident and skilled gun dog trainer. Let's take this journey together, because no woman should have to train her gun dog alone. We'll see you all next week.